6 months. Huh? She taught you nothing. A single Aes Sedai can handle you like bait fish. We would have been so much better off if you were a girl.
Well, I'll give the show this much credit. They certainly are not subtle about how they really feel. Howdy all, I'm Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and welcome back to my review of Wheel of Time Season 2. We are now at Episode 7, and it may surprise some, but I'm still here. I'm still here. People didn't like what I had to say last week, and they're probably not going to like what I have to say this week. But you know what? I don't give a shit. I'm going to do whatever I want, however I want, with my opinion as I see it, because I'm free to do that. And if you want to live in a world of cognitive dissonance, if you want to convince yourself that this utter dumpster fire piece of shit show is good, well, that's a you problem, and I can't really help you if you want to live in denial like this. In fact, I suggest that you take a step back and look at yourself before attacking me. Okay, all that being said, we are here, Episode 7, the penultimate episode where they all continue to lazily move people into the places where they're actually supposed to be at the end of the Great Hunt, despite the fact that this episode, you saw from the opening clip, and I'd really love to go to that moment right now, but we have to wait till I get to talking about Rand and Moiraine and their little made-up arc in this episode. But they really go out of their way in this episode to push their intersectional feminist agenda. At every turn, men are made to look weak. They're made to look simpy, cucky, stupid, while the women are all so strong and beautiful and brave and bold. And these characters behave nothing like they're supposed to. I mean, they really took a hatchet job to Moiraine and Swan in this one, all to remind us that they're gay together. And what we essentially have at the end here is a lesbian lover spat at the end. Oh, I said it. Oh, no, did I say the quiet part out loud? Did I say the thing I'm not supposed to? Well, I did. They turned them gay so they could have a gay lover spat right here, and we're supposed to feel emotionally beat up by it. No, I'm horrified that you have butchered characters all for your agenda purposes, because that's all this really is. This entire show is a vehicle made by people who are jealous of Robert Jordan and his creativity, that they don't have even an ounce of it, and therefore they create a vehicle for their agenda and call that creative and push it. Rafi Poo and your mongoloid assistants, we'll call them this time, we're looking at you. You have no real talent, and you hate what you're working with. It's very apparent with every line, every moment, every piece of disrespectful scene you put out there. All right, so what are we going to do? Thankfully, they went back to editing this show like a meth head with ADD. We're going to drop it into our little segments. I'll talk. I'll try not to get my lore references wrong, and we will just mosey on through to the end, where then I can then, when we're all said and done, go, I don't know, have a stiff drink maybe. I don't drink, and I might want a stiff drink. I don't know. Anyway, all right, so we're going to go with Matt first, because he's in this for all of 5 minutes, and it's, where's his story? Where's anybody's story in this? So we got Matt. We've got Perrin and Black Aviendha, who meets up with a couple of other maidens, who one of them looks more like Aviendha should look than race-swapped Aviendha with dreadlocks does. We'll get to that. I swear to God, we're going to get that. You're going to see what I'm talking about. After that, we are going to combine Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine with whatever they're doing. Again, last week, oh, Egwene was so great. They got it book accurate. You nerd who didn't read the books. You hater who just wants clicks. They did it well. Well, they obviously went away from whatever they attempted to do last week, because Egwene, she's not broken at all. And then finally, we'll have all things Rand and Moiraine wrapped up, where we We are on a path that I don't know. Landfear, girl bossing her way through everything. Oh, I was wrong about something, though. We'll get to it, though. I was wrong about something. I thought I was sort of right last week, but it turns out I was still wrong with my initial assumption from last season. Hey, look, I can admit when I'm wrong. It's not hard. It's not hard. And then Rand. Rand is such a freaking simp and a cuck. He's a browbeaten little fuckhead in this. It's terrible. All right, let's get through this because I got other and better things to do with my day.
Hush. Hush now. Hush.
I don't. Just like him.
Hang on. I'm looking for Matt. Has anybody seen Matt? Matrim Cawthon, one of the heroes of this entire saga. I'm looking for him, and I don't see him anywhere. What I see is a guy who is essentially some sort of weird crybaby addict. That's what I see. I mean, yes, at one point in the real story, Matt is an addict for the knife. I mean, it's supposed to portray that in a way, but what I just see this weirdo. I see a weirdo here who hasn't had a story for 7 episodes, and he's been, seriously, somebody who really will do the time to do this math. How many minutes has Matt been in the 7 hours that we've had so far in this season? I would wager he has maybe had 35 minutes total of screen time. Maybe 40. I'll be generous. 45 minutes in 7 hours. One of the 3 main protagonists of this franchise. And he's done fuck all except cry a lot and frown and mumble his way through his lines. Well, we return to Crybaby Matt. He is still obviously unhappy that he had to leave Rand behind, or he didn't go with Rand when Rand tried to leave the city. And after a couple seconds, he gets knocked out by somebody. 2 minutes later, right away later, he wakes up to find a pantsuit wearing Landfear. Wearing a pantsuit. A pantsuit wearing Landfear standing over him, and we're quickly informed that he's been transported to Falm. Well, I've been asking all season, how is Matt going to get to Falm? Well, they're just going to... He even asked, how did I get here? Landfear says, I brought you here. It doesn't matter. You're here now. I kid you not. That's what they said. It's ridiculous. So, Crybaby Matt is now in Falm. And Landfear says, I expected you to be more impressive. We all did, honey. We all expected Matt to be much more impressive. Well, when we come back to Matt a little while later, Ishi's sitting there scraping something into a pot. Matt asks him, are you going to say anything? If this is about sex or murder, can we just get to it? So Matt's okay with whatever. Now, Ishi says, no, I'm not here for either of those things. Well, I'm going to beg to differ in the next scene. I'm going to beg to differ. Ishi goes on this big speech about how he could never sleep until he saw the truth of everything. How we all keep living our same lives over and over again. Basically, the whole idea of we're trapped in the wheel. I mean, no, that's the whole thing. The whole thing. They want to stop the wheel from moving. They don't want it to keep going. And he gives the whole thing, I'm only comfortable after I saw who I really was, and then I slept, and now you can look and see who you are. Now, he makes this pot of tea for Crybaby Matt and said it's going to give you a vision into your past lives. Now, I thought that this was going to be their ham-fisted attempt to trigger Matt's latent past life memories, as opposed to how it happens in the books, where he goes through the whole journey and then asks for his memories back from the interdimensional Fox people. But instead, doesn't get his memories back. He gets his distant past. Well, we're not going to get there in this show. Who am I kidding? We're not going to get anywhere near that. But Matt eventually drinks the tea, like an addict. I'm like this guy. like an addict, resisting, and then he drinks it, and then he gets up, and then he goes through a really weird acid trip and sees himself. First, he sees his cracked out whore of a mother. Then he sees himself in a mirror dead. Then he sees himself and other people in the mirror killing people. And this might be the way they're going to introduce Matt's past lives in his memories. Maybe. I don't know. I'd make a good bet, though. I'd make a fair wager. That's how they're going to do it. He then passes out, and when he wakes up later, he's in Ishi's arms. So maybe Ishi is there for a little bit of sex. Huh? Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Now you see. Now you understand. And then Matt cries. Matt cries a little bit, and it looks like Matt is ready to turn to the shadow. That's it for Matt. Have we enjoyed Matt's story this season? His non-existent story. His made-up story because you took it away from him. Do you understand? Show fans, defend this. You can't. You really, really can't. But you could attack me and call me names. Go ahead. Go ahead. It shows your weakness and my strength. All right, moving on to Perrin and race-swapped Avienda. Okay, this is a real easy one because it's just a few minutes. It's a little pin drop in this 7 hours of season 2 of more Perrin doing nothing, Perrin being led around by other people who shouldn't even be in this story right now. Right, we pick up with Perrin and race-swapped Avienda moseying along in terrain that I don't think even should be where they are. It doesn't look like the terrain where they should be on their way to Falm. Anyway, eventually they come along, 2 other maidens. No other Aiel in sight. Let's, again, forget the fact that real Avienda was traveling with a band of Aiel, both men and women, maidens and regular Aiel warriors. Come across 2 of them. One of them stops them, says, come with us. We find another one standing over a grave, and the other 2, after a little maiden gesturing, because they have their own little sign language they use, they go off and they are going to have a little struggle session. the Aiel version of a struggle session. But let's just pause here for a moment. Behold this lady right here. If you were walking into this show blind, not knowing anything, not hearing anything, and just opened up this scene for the first time, knowing book lore and book descriptions, I guarantee you would think this is Avienda because she looks like Avienda. Tall, decently attractive, red hair, gray eyes, white. Uh-oh, did I say the quiet part out loud again? Avienda's white. She's not black. Not this chick. This is Avienda. This looks like Avienda. But she's either Bane or Chiad. I don't know which one she is. Oh, familiar names. Remember me names from the book? Oh, look, it's book accurate. Anywho, Bane and Chiad beat the crap out of Black Avienda because of, we learn in the next scene, this is her toe to be paid. Once again, we get a hackneyed, butchered idea of GA toe, how the Aiel deal with owing a debt to people. Apparently, character called Julian, I don't remember if they're real or not, got killed, and Avienda's toe was to get the crap eaten out of her because she didn't defend her while they were fighting. Okay. When we return to these idiots, they're marching along in a really poorly lit scene. You can barely see anything. We get a quick little thing about how, oh, Perrin, you're married? Yeah, sort of. Does that mean you can't have sex with anybody else? In a way. Well, the girls, one of them won't care and the other one will. Where? And then we arrive at the coastline and they see foam and the maidens are astonished that that's all water. We're done. As with Matt, I'm looking for Perrin. Has anybody seen Perrin? He's had 7 hours. He's had a little more screen time than Matt. Maybe maybe an hour's worth of screen time in these 7 hours, but he has no story. What has he done? He's being followed around by fake Hopper. He has no hammer, no axe, no dichotomy. He's nothing. He's absolutely empty and hollow. But this is great. It's so engaging. I love this guy. Oh, look, he's got yellow eyes. It's really Perrin. Do you listen to yourselves? I ask you, show fans, do you listen to yourselves when you try to defend this? You don't. But you're going to attack me anyway, because I'm just pointing out the truths and the facts. All right, we're done here. That's it for Perrin. Moving on to Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine and their little stuff where they're girl-powered awesome. We now arrive at what the heroine trio are going to be doing this episode. It's really, I was surprised. I thought we were going to get more out of them. It's really quick. It's really bland. It's really boring. And it's, again, what we get here is some of what happens in the book, but then a lot of not what happens in the book. Okay, let's move along. Right. We're at Dominate training camp where it's time to test their power, see how strong they are. Rena has got her super girl boss hard on for how powerful Egwene is, and tells her, "You're gonna do what I say. I'm gonna make you suffer if you don't. But we're here to show off, and everybody's gonna know that how strong you are, and that I'm your pimp." That's essentially what it is. We eventually get to Egwene's turn, and she's just supposed to make a giant air burst, with all the power she has. She does it. And she does it with so much strength and awesomeness that it shakes the entire area around Falm. Now let's just pause here for a minute, and I want to make you understand. Again, we're doing these out of order with how they happen in the show because it makes it much easier to cover this abomination when I do that. But throughout the show, up to this point, when we talk about it, Rand has been portrayed as weak. All the men have been portrayed as weak, but Rand especially, how he's so easily contained, so easily controlled. All his power, and only one Sedai sister is able to hold him still. Yet here, when it's time to go to moly, she is so strong, and she's only being held against her will because it's a thing around her neck, and she's still defiant, because we're gonna get to that in a minute. After she does her big rock'em sock'em push the air to show how you have to remember how strong Egwene is, we cut to the city. Loyal, who's still captured in this, remember, he's captured in this story, but not in the real book story. He's walking around. Oh, look, not Nynaeve pulls him aside. "Oh, Nynaeve, I'm so glad to see you." But then he recognizes Elaine right away. He recognizes Elaine, bows to her. Of course he would in the real books, because he was in Camelin when they found him for the first time. Not Tar Valon. He bows to her, get up, and then they have a really stupid conversation about where Egwene is. Just basically telling us everything we know for no reason. And instead of having them just deduce it out, because at this point, Elaine was giving orders to Nynaeve. "We're going to do it my way. You shove." So Elaine's flexing her girl boss muscles against Nynaeve, who is now a crybaby, whining shell of herself. Anyway, they learn that Egwene is being held at Dominate training camp, and they're going to break her out, because we get the allude fact that they have the Adam, whatever. They have that, and that is book accurate, because when we come back later, they capture a Soldam with it, which is what they do in the books. But they waited a long-ass time to do it in the books. "Oh, Adam, it has to be condensed, you hater. They can't possibly go things at the speed of the books." No, it could be very easy to do things at the speed of the books if you have appropriate time elapse shown. Nope, we gotta hurry along. Gotta go. Anywho, they capture a Soldam. Then we go to Egwene, who's defiantly braiding her hair in her cell. In comes Rena to give her a sponge bath and give her some big speech about how the Empress has sent them on a mission and they're all going to be great together. And it's very sexual here. You got the feeling that Rena wants to have Scissor Me Timber time with Egwene. And when we get to the very end of it, Egwene looks her in the eye. And I know there are some out there, some of the weirdos that they were really hoping they'd kiss. I know they were. Because we got to ship them. We got to ship them. But Egwene looks her in the eye and says, I'm going to kill you. Rena storms off. End of it all, but let's just pause on this for a minute. I thought last week was so groundbreaking a book accurate that we were seeing the breaking of Egwene and how she has succumbed to the torture and in all this pared down time. We had to do it quickly, but you understand. Look, she's broken. She's screaming. She's crying. I don't know. She looks pretty not broken here. What happened to book accuracy with Egwene being broken? Because in the books, this goes on for weeks, and she's struggling to hold on to herself. No, she is defiantly smirking and girl boss braiding her hair, saying, I'm going to kill you now. Rena, if this was book accurate, would have beat the ever-loving shit out of her right here again, like she did last week. But no. We gave you a little bit of slight book accuracy, but now we're back to Mogwayne, girl bossing her way through everything with a smug smile on her face. Smug and self-satisfied smile. Let me add that to it. Because you can't have your real hero go through any more trials and tribulations, because she's a hero. Okay, we're done with this. Let's move on to the main event. Rand and Moiraine and all the shit swirling around them.
Where were you going?
Fun. Egwene is there. Ishama has her.
Lanfear showed you this in the dream world.
I know. They want me to go there.
Right, here is the meat of the episode. Rand Moiraine and all the stupid non-book plots surrounding them. With the exception of the beginning, but it's still butchered for the sake of agenda and Rafie Poo's weirdness. All right. We start 20 years ago. This is actually the prologue of the entire episode. 20 years ago, which is when this happened, except not like this. What we have to be reminded right away that Show Moiraine and Show Swan are getting together. We've got to be reminded that they're fantasizing about how they're going to do their duty, and when it's time to retire, they're going to get married and live in a fish hut, and she's going to be a fishmonger's wife, and la-di-la-di. They have to just keep beating you over the head with this, forgetting the fact that they have completely butchered the two private life storylines of these characters for the sake of agenda and for the sake of all leading up to an angry lesbian breakup. Somebody's getting a U-Haul after this one. all because we're supposed to have emotion and feel for them that they couldn't find their love over duty. When in fact that they have butchered Swan's character. Not only have they butchered her in terms of her relationships, everybody now, because of they have to scissor me timber with Moiraine. Can't see it, make sure it's on camera. Gonna see it! They've butchered her character, her motivations, her desires, her goals. But we'll get to that in a minute. So we're 20 years ago. They've been summoned to Guitara's chambers. They open it up. And, oh, look, it's Haley Mills. Hi, Pollyanna. How you doing? We're going to get Haley Mills to say 3 lines in this for some fuck-all reason. Guitar, who was the oldest living Aes Sedai at the time, over 300 years old, who is canonically has the vision. It's the end of the Aiel War, and it's the moment when Rand is being born at the base of Dragonmount, and she has the vision and dies because that's what does happen in the book. Now in the book, the real Amerlin of the time and a couple others were there, and the accepted Moiraine and Swan were there. No, they're full sisters here. They're full blue sisters at this point in this adaptation, and no one else is there. And eventually, Amerlin and the other sisters who were there get killed by Black Aja. But no, in this one, it's all on Moiraine and Swan. It was always just on them. They were never this. All right, fine. Cut to the present. Moiraine has been summoned to speak to Swan. They come in there. It's, oh, can we scissor? Do we have time to scissor? No, we don't. We have to get melodramatic and talk about how, Moiraine, you've been, got to put the hand on the face, remind her of the sexual tension. Moiraine, you've been carrying this burden for all this time. Now that you're stilled. And again, I was wrong about that, but we'll get to that as we explain this. I was wrong. I was trying to make fun of this whole show, hoping I was right, and they were wrong, but I was still wrong. Everybody who said she was just cut off, tied off weave, you were right. I was wrong. So you've been carrying this too long. Now that you're stilled, you can't fulfill your half of our deal. You can't train him. And we're going to get to that. You can't train him. You can't prepare the dragon. So now we have to do this my way. I'm going to do this the way the tower wants it to be done. We'll get back to that in a second. Because we go out into the waiting chamber, or waiting room, and there's Rand. He's all upset. Am I going to be gentle? What's going to happen? And now we get the line everybody's been waiting for. The line that everybody predicted was going to happen. I didn't predict anything, but everybody told me it was going to happen, and I believed everybody. My friend Dane last week said this was going to happen, and Dane, you were absolutely right. They go out and say, Lan goes out and says, in a very quiet and unemotional way, there's only one rule for being a man. You face whatever's coming on your feet. This is the line. This is one of the most famous lines and defines Lan and Rand's relationship, and it's delivered with all the emotion of an air fart. That's it. And then we move on, and here's more insulting shit to their relationship right here. As Lan tries to have Rand put on a fresh coat for his meeting with Swan, Rand reacts hostily, spins around in a ready stance, and Lan talks about, oh, X stance you're in. You've been training with the sword. You're the one who's supposed to have been training him in the way of the sword. Rand hasn't learned anything. He took some advice from a crazy man, a guy suffering from PTSD in an insane asylum. Lan should have been training Rand for months at this point. Hardcore boot camp training. That's how ridiculous this show is. They have destroyed the relationship between Lan and Rand, and having softly spoken, quoted the line that everybody's waiting for, is supposed to fix everything? No, it just embarrasses you even more. You got the line from the book. Why aren't you happy? Because it's disrespectful. He speaks so softly. That's not a manly way to do it. There's no manliness in this. It's just a couple of cucks talking to each other. Anyway, Rand is now gonna he gets to go in front of the Amberlin seat. And now remember, this is the scene that should have happened at the beginning of the season in Faldara if they'd actually stuck to the books. I'm going to boil it all down real quickly as to why this entire scene is wrong. I'm not going to talk about everything they yammer on each other about. I'm not going to waste time with that. I'm just going to go to the bullet points. The Amberlin is unimpressed. Amberlin's unimpressed. Rand is nowhere near ready to be the general they need. So she's going to do what the tower wants, what the tower dictates in their laws. She's going to cage him. And when Rand tries to fight back, she easily binds him. Now, and then you saw that we're going back to the beginning of the review. I played the clip there. This would have been so much easier if you were a girl. Now, we are now dealing with some of the core problems with this entire show. During this speech with him, she talks about the wheel, how he moves the wheel. We have not once this season, correct me if I'm wrong, has the word Ta'veren been mentioned once in this season? At all. No. Not for Rand, not for Matt, not for Perrin. And remember, they're trying to make Egwene and not Nynaeve Ta'veren too. But at the same time, we come back to what I just mentioned. Would have been easier if you were a girl. This show was fucked the minute they didn't separate the one power into side and insider. It was fucked because they had their mission that anybody, male or female, could be the Dragon Reborn. And when Swan dismissively says, I wish you were a girl, would have been so much easier if you were a girl. That is what Rafe and everybody behind this show want. They wanted to make the Dragon Reborn a girl because it fits their intersectionalist feminist agenda. It fits their virtue signaling SJW woke agenda to take the agency of a heroic man and give it to a hero. They hate that they have to tell Rand's story, make Rand the dragon. So that's why at every opportunity they have him be subjugated by a woman, whether it's Swan easily shielding him and saying, look what I did. You're nothing, you're weak. One sister could do it. As opposed to in the real books, when the girls do try to shield him, Rand literally muscles his way out of it. He doesn't need to even know how to do the weaves. He can just muscle his way out of it. And they can't see it or feel it because in the real lore concerning the one power, side and insider, they can't see the weaves. And they actually stress that in this, that they can't see each other's weaves, but they can still feel the power. It's ridiculous. You can't have it both ways. You can't have a bastardized version of this, yet still try to say, oh, they're separated when they're not separated. We can't see the weaves, but I can feel you using the power, and I know when you're doing it, so I can shield you. No, it doesn't work like that. You can't have your shit cake and eat it too. But we got to make Rand look unimpressive. We have to have Rand on his knees while Egwene can show off how big and strong she is, girl boss style. Rand's got to be a cuck. Rand's got to be such a cuck that after Moiraine comes in and they have a big conversation about how Swan says we're doing it like this, we're going to cage him, breaking from her character in the books. To the very end, she believed in what Moiraine was doing. She believed that they had to let Rand go out there and be the dragon, not be chained by the tower, caged by the tower, cucked by the tower. But nope, this Swan, no faith whatsoever. We're going to do it this way. Also, we can have a Sesame Timber breakup fight later on. So you can be brokenhearted that their love couldn't overcome duty. My God, this show is garbage. Now, while Rand is being all chained up in there, down, they have him shielded in the bottom, Moiraine comes to see him, and they have the transition clip I showed you. What are we doing? They come to the conclusion that the Forsaken want Rand at Falm so they can have him be proclaimed as the dragon as the prophecies foretell and then kill him. So there's the big reveal, guys. This is why Ishii wants Matt there to kill him with the dagger. They explained it. Bravo, it's retarded, but they explained it. They want to let him proclaim himself as the dragon. Also, then they can just kill him and be seen as we've killed the dragon. You lose all hope. Wow, isn't that fun and exciting? Well, they come up with the idea, Rand and Moiraine come up with the idea that Rand needs to fall asleep. Well, they don't actually come say it, but it's pretty implied because we cut to Rand back in the dreamscape, the Tel Arenroid, that they haven't even called it that yet. Or have they? I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think they've called it that yet. Anyway. And then there's Bondage Lanfear, BDSM Lanfear. Rand, she demeans him by saying it's so cute when you try to manipulate me, as Rand tries to manipulate her into basically coming to bust him out. Rand manipulates, they use Lanfear, and I said right away while I was watching this, oh man, are we going to have Lanfear come in and girl boss her way through this? Oh, we are. But before that, we have to cut to House Damondred, where Barthanes, who isn't supposed to be Maureen's nephew, is having a tea party with Maureen's older sister. And during all this, Leandrin had appeared. I forgot a part. Well, quick aside, because I forgot. During all this, Leandrin disappeared. The Ambiguous Gay trio are watching Varen. There you go. Can't forget the ambiguously gay trio, can we? Anyway, back to oratory. So Leandrin showed up at House Damodred because Barthanas, who is a dark friend in the real books, just not this version of him, is told to kill his aunt and kill his mother. He doesn't want to, but he has to. Dark oaths and all that fun stuff. Well, later on, when shit is going down, he's going to try and kill Moraine, but instead gets trapped by his mom who heard it was going to happen. And we have to be reminded that Moraine may be a cold bitch, but she knows right from wrong, and she understood that, and she's great that way. Okay, done with that. Right. During Rand's incarceration, Lan goes off with the ambiguously gay trio to talk with Logain. All season, this manufactured drama between Lan and Moraine about their severed bond and all this stuff, Lan has been apparently putting it together in his head that maybe, just maybe, she's not stilled because she hasn't tried to kill herself and he hasn't tried to kill himself. Yeah, it would have been nice if they'd actually done that as a fake plot here instead of having him just be sad and trying to be coaxed into the ambiguously gay trio's bed all the time. Basically, Lan has put it together that there has to be a male weave around Moraine. So he goes to talk to Logain about it. Logain confirms it. And then that's it. They have a little spat about why Logain won't be killed or set free. But that's it. So once again, they want their cake that you do. They want to have everybody drawing from the one power and not have cider and cider. But then, if it's all the same, how come a woman can't see the man's weave around Moraine? Or Ishii, in specific. They can't see Ishii's weave around her. No. Just don't think. Just consume. Right. While all this is moving around, as I predicted when I was watching it, and now here it came along as I knew it would, Lanfear girl bosses her way into Carrion, just starts smashing shit up. Boom, 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 I'm Lanfear. I'm not the Lanfear of the books who works from the shadows, works by playing a very intricate game of chess, moving things around. No, I'm just going to be Juggernaut Lanfear. I'm a girl boss my way in, blow shit up, and essentially set up a jailbreak for Rand. Yep. Just jailbreaks her way all the way through. Setting shit on fire. Everybody's going crazy. And while that's all going crazy, Diversity Varen comes in, relieves the shielding of Rand, only to let it out. Moraine compliments her on her careful use of wordage. They're being coy about the fact that, spoilers, Varen is an unwilling dark friend. Varen's a dark friend, but she's an unwilling dark friend. She got forced into being Black Aja. She didn't choose it. She stuck her nose too deep into researching it and got caught. That's real book lore. And which I bet it's the ambiguously gay trio who are going to uncover this, because they got to have something to do, because you got to give the ambiguously gay trio relevance in all of this. Diversity Varen decides to free them. They have a plan. They have the map that Asian brown sister gave her earlier in the episode that shows there's a waygate in the middle of the city. So that's how they're going to quickly get everybody to Falm. They're going to take a waygate. They arrive at the waygate, or they meet up with Lan and the ambiguously gay trio. They all go their separate ways. Lan, Moraine, and Rand are going to head to the waygate. Ambiguously gay trio and Diversity Varen are going to go off and do something else. I don't know what. I don't really care. While Rand and crew are heading to the waygate, Swan and Diversity sisters of all shapes, sizes, and lack of hair put out the fires that Lanfear set, and then are informed that Moraine and Rand have escaped. Somehow, Swan is able to track them all the way to the waygate. We don't know how, we don't know why, just roll with it, just accept it. She's a girl boss. She knows everything. At the waygate, we now have the conclusion of Lan Moraine drama hour, where Lan basically, I mean, earlier on in the episode, they had a big conversation about, do you feel while we have to work together? Why do you, all their drama bullshit. I skipped over because it was really insignificant, because this is the meat of it. Lan reveals that she's been shielded from the One Power. And it's the old Forsaken trick that's forgot about tying something up. There it was. I was wrong. Everybody else was right. Oops, watch the microphone there. Everybody else was right when they said last season Ishi's little bloop was the tying off. I really did want them to botch it with a combination of tying off and stilling. I wanted that just so I could make fun of her. But there, I was wrong. She wasn't stilled. She was just shielded and tied off. Everybody else was right. I was wrong. There, I can admit it. Not hard. They basically ask Rand, can you see it? And once again, I bring back, they want their shit cake and eat it too. That they want everybody to draw from the same One Power, but then they have to try and not talk about Sidon and Cider, yet only a man can see a man's weaves, but why are only the men poisoned by it? Whatever. Rand summons the One Power, breaks the weave, cuts it off, and Moraine's got the power again. Yay! Girl boss back! Hooray! She opens the way gate only to have her lover appear. How'd she get there again? How did she know they were there? How did she know they were there? How did she get to them so quickly? She flew? No, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Just consume. Just accept it. Show fans, just accept it. I need to shut up and not make you question things. Shut up. She, again, very easily binds Rand, shields Rand. He has to be there crouched on the ground looking like a pussy. And then we have lesbian drama hour. They have a big talk about duty and love and you have to trust me and this and that. Why can't you do this? No, I have to do it my way. The more butchering of their characters happens until, again, duty cannot overcome love or love cannot overcome duty. And Swan uses the 3 oaths to force Moraine to close the way gate. It's retarded. And we're supposed to feel bad. And, oh no, she's breaking her heart. Why? No. Well, it doesn't last long because here comes Girl Boss Lanfear. Boop, boop. I'm Girl Boss. Swan tries to fight her. Lanfear swats her down like she's nothing. Rand is freed. Everybody goes into the way gate while Swan is crying. We get images of when they were young and in love. And oh no, somebody's going to buy a U-Haul. That's it. That's episode. Are we done? No, we got one more to go. Ha ha.
Maureen, please.
There you go. What did I tell you? This episode was created so that you could have a lesbian breakup fight at the end, while characters are destroyed all along the way. Let's go down the list. Rand did nothing in this episode. He was led around by women constantly. Everything has to be done the way the women want. Every situation has to be saved by a woman. No man does any saving in this. You have Rand, again, like I said, begging Lanfear for help, thinking he's going to outsmart her, and she criticizes him, ridicules him for, it's so sweet how you try to manipulate me. You have Matt, who cries and whimpers his way through his non-existent storyline. You have Perrin, who walks around with his mouth open and does nothing. Lan just simps his way through this. And all the other dudes, nothing. It's all empty. All empty. You get your classic line, face it on your feet, delivered with zero emotion, with zero impact, for a relationship that hasn't been built up at all. There's no Lan-Rand relationship in this. None. But all the girls, girl boss away. Egwene captured, not broken, flexing her muscles. Not even Elaine, sort of muddling her way through their actual book storyline. Moiraine and Swan, completely butchered. Butchered characters. Their arcs are destroyed. All because we had to have them in a gay relationship, and so they can have a breakup. So you can see how important it is that love can't overcome duty, or duty can overcome love. I don't know. It's all retarded, and it hurts your brain when you think about it. But it's really, Swan was done dirty in this episode. She's done dirty. They have betrayed the spirit of her character, all because they had to have an angry lesbian breakup. Lanfear, girl bossing her way through everything. And again, the kicker. We get a couple more Aiel maidens, and one of them actually looks like Aviendha should look. And then you see black race swap Aviendha. We're supposed to believe this. We're supposed to believe any of this is legitimate, any of it works. It doesn't work. You cannot defend any of this. They actively avoid using proper terms in this. They don't say Ta'veren, they don't use Sidon, they use Cider, and they triple down on the idea that the dragon could have been anybody. Why couldn't you have been a girl? Would have been so much easier if you were a girl. That is the truth of the matter, the core, God's honest truth. They hate male heroes. They do not like it because these people are male feminists and intersectional feminists, soy boys, take your pick. They care about their agenda. They don't care about telling Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time story. They care about pushing something out there and making the clapping seals happy because they know the clapping seals are going to come out and run ramshot over anybody that questions this show. But guess what? I'm still here. Nobody muzzles me. Nobody makes me sit in a corner. I'm going to keep going. We got one more week. 8 is on the way. And then we're done. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you had a good time, hit that like button. Real fans, leave a comment. I love it. Fake fans, broken fans, go ahead and leave your comments too, because guess what? It's all traction in the algorithm. Thank you. You're an idiot. Once again, if you enjoyed it, hit that like button. I will see you next week. Until then, take it easy. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to reach out to me, please email me at theranernerd@gmail.com for all channel business purposes. I am on Twitter now, mostly for promotion and sharing of videos, maybe a little shit stirring here and there. Who knows? @TheRenNerd. You can also find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can see me on Rumble and Odyssey under the Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.